Hey, it's time for 7 Minute Stories here on the 167. With me here is my man AC Downs.
Hello.
So AC, you're going to be telling your 7 minute story. You even brought visual aids,
Yes,
and
sir.
so even if you're holding those up to the camera, just describe them to the people who are listening on the podcast. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see all these lovely pictures. So AC, I'm going to put 7 minutes on the clock, and here you go.
All right. So my story began 6 years ago. In June this year, it was 6 years ago. The thing that it resonates with me across the board. I'm 28 years old, and I had my first child 6 years ago. So I have pictures of him and how he was born. How he was born was extremely stressful. He was my future wife. She got preeclampsia. She was 17 weeks pregnant, and she ended up going into preterm labor and delivering early. So my son was, I'm sorry, she was 23 weeks pregnant. He was 17 weeks early. So my son was born 1 pound, 3 ounces, and he was 12 inches long. And I have a few pictures here to kind of, give you a general idea. This is Grayson. This is the first picture he smiled for. A couple of photos that this is the first time I ever got to hold him, and we were doing kangaroo care right there.
He's so small.
Yeah, he was. He's a miracle. It was really trying times. Of all the times I can ever remember, that was the time where I was as close to God as I'd ever thought I'd ever be. And also at the same time I was pushing him away. It was tough. There was moments where as she was getting ready to deliver, so we started at Shawnee Mission Hospital, and they told us, hey, this is the story. You got preeclampsia. We're doing everything we can to keep that baby inside you.
Mm-hmm.
But she was just not having it. So they moved us to KU, and we ended up when we got to KU, we had 12 hours, and he was out. I mean, she was a wreck. Just everything was going south. So out of nowhere, we were actually talking to the NICU doctor. He was just telling us how the NICU works, trying to keep our spirits up. And out of nowhere, she's like, "It's got to go. We got to do this." So within 9 minutes, they took her out. She had 2 seizures. She had a seizure while they were wheeling her in, and she had a seizure as they were trying to get him out. All that happened within 9 minutes. I was getting dressed. I was trying to run in there, and I was getting dressed. Before I could even make it in there, they were like, "Nope, he's out." So they had him out, intubated in 9 minutes, and I remember seeing him for the first time, and they were wheeling him in a incubator. They were wheeling him down the hall, and they were like, "Come on, you got to hurry and see him." So I went and saw him, and I just remember my life just changed. There's no describing the feeling of pure joy, but pure, utter just... I've never been so scared. So he got up to the room, and I had my future father-in-law with me, and we stood there. We were the only people in the room. And I just remember looking at him, and I was like, why? It's like, why'd this happen? I'm like, it's not his fault. And we were just looking at him, and just out of nowhere, we got this photo here. And I'm a very symbolic person. So when they turned the lights off and I saw this, I just thought, wow, that's an angel. That's an angel. And I looked at my father-in-law, and I just broke down. I didn't know what else to do. I was scared. I was worried for him. They gave him about a 16% chance to live. And me and him talked, and he's like, "This is the time where we pray. This is the time." We prayed. We prayed harder than I think I've ever prayed in my life. Up until that point, I was on and off with God. I knew he was there. I was raised to know I was Christian and know not know God, but know he was real. Wasn't really a spiritual family. It was hey, God's real and we love God. It was never explained to me how God was. So at that point, I realized that everything happens for a reason. And it's a saying in my family still to this day, God's got a plan. He certainly does. God's plan for me for my family was that. It brought a lot of us together. It completely, anything that was wrong in our family, it was put on pause and eventually just never even thought of again because of this little boy right here. His name's Grayson. Like I said, he's 6 years old. He just turned 6 in June. And he's the reason I believe in God. He had 2 surgeries while he was in the NICU. He was in the NICU for 4 months. He was released from the NICU the day after his original due date was in October. So he was released from the NICU then. Everything we did was kind of backwards. We hadn't even had a baby shower yet. So we had a baby shower while he was in the NICU. The day before he got released from the NICU. So
Well, it's amazing how God can take something that, evil intends and can turn into something good, something that unites your family and brings it around.
yeah.
What's your guys', I know that you've been at New Life just a short time.
Mm-hmm.
What's that been like? How are you guys growing today? Like, how's Grayson doing now?
Oh, he is amazing. I love that boy. He's as ornery as a 6-year-old can be. And he is just, every day I wake up and I look at him and before I go to work, I'm up at 5 in the morning, I'm out the door by 5:30, and I always, no matter what, I do the dad thing. I go in there, kiss him on the forehead, and I tell him, "You're a miracle, kid. You're the reason I do this every morning." And our journey led us here. It's hard to explain. It wasn't by dumb luck. It was written somewhere. This was the plan. We were destined for this place. I moved out here to Gardner 7 years ago when I met my future wife. When we met, I moved out here to, kind of be with her. I was in no place I was going down a pretty bad road. I was not doing very well. And every day since I moved out here, I'd see that church. I worked right up the street at a plumbing company right up the road. I worked there, so I drove by this place probably 1,000 times, honestly. And we finally just, we were like, let's do this. We reached out to New Life for some help financially, and they helped us. And from that point on, I've just been head first. You guys have taken us in like a family, and that's one of the strongest things in my life. The thing that I look for in any person is your bond, your family bond, your friendship. If you hold your family on a pedestal, then I know you have good morals. And that's the one thing here at New Life that I've felt more than anything is the family connection. Hey, you're one of us now. Hey, we love you. Hey, and I give that back in return. I've not questioned anything. I feel better. I feel like I can breathe a little easier, knowing that my relationship with Jesus is getting a lot stronger every day. It taught me, like you guys are teaching me how to strengthen my relationship with Jesus, and that helps me every day. Somebody I can talk to,
That's good. And then you guys have a wedding coming up in a couple of weeks,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, you guys are just, going full tilt, just going after Jesus.
Oh yeah, we're head first, and we're not looking back. God has a plan, and this is our plan, and we intend to see it straight through.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming and sharing your story,
No
AC.
problem. Appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope it blesses people out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.